Hi everyone, welcome to Good Morning Toowoomba with Ben Apsey, and Daryl Nicholson is here in spirit today as he is at work clearing machines, I believe. Quite a busy morning for the sports club. Today is October the 20th, it is Tuesday. It's a lovely day in the CBD, partly cloudy, currently 17 degrees and a humidity of 68%. Top of 26 degrees today, so a really nice day. It's a little bit cooler than what we've had over the last few days, and 5% chance of rain. It would be nice to see a 90 or 100% chance of rain. But with La Nina on its way, we're expecting quite heavy rainfalls over the summer, which would be excellent for our region. Polling opened yesterday, pre-polling, so the polling period is open, it has started, and the ECQ is reporting a record number of people turning up to pre-polling. Now, we saw in the local government elections that was the case as well. A lot of people were steering clear of polling day. And yet, it's really interesting that there are still, knowing that there are 2 weeks of pre-polling, there are still candidates and there are still parties that are yet to release details of their policies and their budgeting for those policies. And that's across the board. So, as we keep saying, when you go to vote, as most of you will probably go to vote at a pre-poll or in a postal ballot, be very, very cautious about who you're voting for. Do your research, cast your vote properly. You have to number all the boxes, but remember your preference counts. So in a seat like Toowoomba North or Toowoomba South, for example, if you preference all of the minors and the independents first, but then your last two are going to be the two major parties. Whoever you put higher out of those two major parties is going to get the preference in the end based on who is the notional candidate. So just be very careful about where your preference goes on those two. Clive Palmer is launching a legal challenge against the Australian Electoral Commission over their intention to deregister at a federal level, the United Australia Party, over membership concerns. Apparently they don't believe that they've satisfied the 500 minimum memberships. However, it doesn't affect their state registration or the upcoming election here. And the Electoral Commission of Queensland has stated that they conducted a membership survey 5 months ago. They were satisfied that it met the requirements, and they will not be conducting that survey again. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out with the Australian Electoral Commission going against what the Electoral Commission of Queensland has done. Melbourne Cup at Fitzy's is sold out. Where will you be celebrating if you can't go to the Melbourne Cup at Fitzy's? I know it is always a really, really great time there. I know I'm really keen for Melbourne Cup. It's always my favourite time of year. It's one of the only horse races I usually bet on. However, I did bet on the races with the Grammar Football fundraising on the weekend. That was a great weekend, great event over at the Clifford Park Racecourse. Virgin Airlines set to go back to being a full budget airline, which could cause issues within the travel industry, making it quite difficult for travel agents to book potentially those tickets. You may have to go back to doing it yourself on their website, but if it's anything like Virgin of old, it'll be book a ticket, buy a seat, buy your baggage, all separate. You won't get food. So going back to being probably more similar to the likes of Tiger Airways and Jetstar. The travel industry is already bleeding, and this is probably not any way helpful to it. And on top of that, they're receiving very, very little help from the government, and that's on a state and a federal level, with the Australian Federation of Travel Agents actually coming out saying that all travel agents should write to their local federal MPs to request that more is done for the travel industry, an industry that the federal government is outright refusing at this stage to get back on its feet through all its border closures, as the only democracy in the world currently not allowing its citizens to leave the country without special permission. In local sporting news, something that most of you will know I'm not usually on top of, the Hip Pocket Rockets have won the Bush Bash League final last night. As the underdogs going into that game, they pulled off a spectacular win. So congratulations to the Hip Pocket Rockets and the guys over at Hip Pocket, where they rocket and they sock it under the leadership of Graham Strang. And we, as always, thank you for joining us with Good Morning Toowoomba. As always, as well, subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, keeping in mind that if you do copy any of the material that we've put out there, it is owned by APSI Investments Proprietary Limited, and it is illegal to do so without our express permission. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ben APSI.